immediately thought I had, now that I had the message and the word helping me know what was going on, I didn't have it in my spirit. I had it up here, but I didn't have it in here for practice. You can be enter the military. They can give you a sword, they can give you clothes, they can give you a place to sleep, they can give you some training. But until you put everything that you've learned on the battlefield, you don't know how you're progressing, how you're going to do. So I was taking what the Lord was showing me intellectually, but I didn't know how to put it on the battlefield in day-to-day life. Change that need to be made. Therefore, all I knew was He's paid it. There's nothing I need to do. So the enemy would come at me at nighttime in my sleep, and he would hold me down. I couldn't move, couldn't talk. All I had was my mind. My mind would work. And I would do this in my sleep, fighting, trying to get loose, but I couldn't get loose. I tried to scream when I was asleep, let someone know what's going on. Nothing would come out. I was lost into a world. Nobody knew I was there. Nobody knew I was struggling, and I didn't know how to come out of it. These episodes could last, to me, what it seemed like. I never clocked it, because I never knew what time in my sleep it happened. So I never knew whether it was actually 5 minutes in my sleep, or whether it was 2 or 3 hours. It felt like hours and hours and hours. So this really bothered me, and this would happen a whole lot. I mean, a whole lot. And I found out a pattern that the more tired I was, the more it would happen. I recognized that pattern. So finally, I'd asked the Lord. The Lord had brought it to my attention. What are you doing when these things happen to you in your sleep? And I said, I'm fighting, I'm wrestling. And the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. I'm wrestling, I'm fighting back. I'm trying to but I'm not getting free. And He showed me, because I used to ask Him, why are you allowing this to me? Why are you allowing this torment to come to me in my sleep? Why? I'm not doing nothing. There's nothing in my heart. There's nothing in my life. Why am I exposed to these powers of darkness and nobody else is telling me nothing about their life? Preacher don't preach about it. What's wrong with me? And He showed me, He said, what I have taught you about victory that you have in the cross, you're not showing it in your spirit. Therefore, you're fighting in your spirit. And that fight is for me to show you you're not walking in faith. You're still walking in works. You're trying to battle the powers of darkness through your own strength at night when you're asleep, and you don't have to do it. He said, quit fighting. Quit it. When it happens to you, don't wrestle. Don't wrestle. You take your stand and you tell the powers of darkness, I rebuke you. I'm not going to fight you. Christ has already fought you and won. I take authority over you. And you have to leave now. So when they would come to me and they would take my mind, oppress my mind and my body, the next time it happened and they would hold me down, I didn't have this, but I had this. And in my spirit man works here. My fleshly man works right here. My fleshly man ain't got nothing to do with it. My spirit man does, which works up here. The heart, the spirit. We're spirit man. When we get rid of this body, we're going to have a spirit. So, the next time it happened, He didn't rebuke. He didn't move. Spirit didn't move right away. He was challenging my authority. Did I really believe what I was saying? Or was I just saying it merely for saying it? Over a period of years, it finally worked, started happening when the demon realized, or demons, whatever, realized I wasn't backing off. They let loose, and they left really quick. Things changed. They become more deceptive, more deceiving. They knew now they could just hold me down. They would come to me at night, and they would fake. They're deceivers. And I'm really persuaded that Jude, the first chapter, when it talks about filthy dreamers, I believe that's talking about what I'm discussing. Because they would come at night when you're sleeping and in your dreams. And they would take me all through the house. And they started mimicking Deborah. And mimic her. Don't know why. There's no demon that's female. They're all males. In case you didn't know. All angels are not females. There's no female angels. They're all male. But they would try to imitate her, mimic her. They would take me through the house. Of course, I'm in my sleep. They would take me way up to the third heaven. I couldn't see anything in the third heaven, but I could visually see the earth from way up in the second heaven, probably second heaven, not the third heaven. And I could look down, and I could fly through the heavens. Such power and swiftness and speed of thought while you're thinking. You could think something in one split second, but it could be a macro burst of information that would be on this earth naturally, but in the spiritual realm, it's nothing, it's condensed to nothing. And then they got to the place to where they couldn't hold me down no more. They knew that. They started into perversions, performing perversion acts on me. And I finally called Brother Harden about this many, many years ago. Not the perversion, but the holding me down stuff. I want to find out someone else has been through this. And I used to tell David the next day, this makes me so mad that they dare come to me in my sleep. I said, they ain't got the nerve to fight me when I'm awake. They will come when I'm asleep. So, but the Lord was allowing that to show me where my faith was placed. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. My faith was in my works while I was sleeping. It wasn't in Him and what Christ did for me at the cross. Therefore, I was wrestling. Remember when the angel wrestled Jacob? And was it at night while he was asleep? Mm-hmm. Because Jacob's flesh was too strong and he was too fighting, trying to work things out in his life. And the Lord finally told him, I'm running out of time with you. We're not getting nowhere. Daylight's coming. Therefore, since you won't stop fighting with me, I'm going to end this fight. And he hit him in his thigh joint and caused this part of his leg to shrink up. And he walked with a limp. But yet the Bible says Jacob wrestled with God and won. That's another story. So Brother Harden told me, yes, Brother Andy, I've had these spirits hold me down for many, many years. He didn't know how to stop it. I learned and grew from the Lord how to stop it, how to get at it. But I didn't realize there were stages to this demonic warfare that goes on when you're asleep. I was at the bottom, and when I beat these demonic spirits at this level, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. What's wrestling? Hello? Powers. Rulers of darkness of this world. Spiritual wickedness in high places. So there's levels and degrees of demonic warfare and demonic angels that you're going to fight. So when I defeated the lower ones, it was time for the next stronger ones to come. And then the next stronger ones to come. It's a progression that I hope no one ever has to fight. But the Lord was teaching me, as the military trains you finally to put you on the battlefield, He was putting me on the battlefield in the spiritual realm while I was sleeping on different levels. So He told me that was normal. I thought, well, thank God someone has revealed it. It's not because nothing I'm doing or watching or thinking or anything else. It has nothing to do with me. It's the fight that I'm in. So then, very perverse acts would be performed on me. I've never performed any acts. They were all being performed on me. And this had gone on for years. And I told Deborah about them, to some of the most vilest things you could think of. And I called Brother Harden, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I finally, I said, has this ever happened to you, Brother Andy? I've had some of the most perverse, vile things take place when I'm asleep in my dreams. And I asked him, I said, why? Would you tell me why? And he said, that's when you're the most vulnerable. It's in your sleep. Because you don't know nothing's coming. Mm-hmm. You're not ready for it. You're asleep. So I realized since then I'm at a new level when I'm fighting demonic spirits. And I've also noticed it happens when I'm really pushing into God real hard. When I'm really pushing to get really close to God, it can happen. Right before I'm at a Bible study, when I know He's fixing to move, and He's told me what He wants me to say, it'll happen. It happened just last week. It happened again. And so I don't worry no more. It's not a concern for me. I'm relieved knowing it's got nothing to do with me. It's nothing that I've seen, watched, heard, thought about, done. I'm not reaping nothing. I am here. The demonic spirits tormented Jesus. The Bible says after it was over, the angels came and ministered unto Him. So if you've never gone through it, hope you never go through it. If you've gone through it, thought something's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you. It's not happening because of where you've been. It's happening because of where you are and where you're going. The determination of your faith, how much you've latched on to God and you said, I'm going forward with God. Those spirits are there, trying to cause you to think something's wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong. Is there any questions on the subject? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. There needs to be either these preachers from the pulpits don't have enough of fight in them of God to where it's happening, it don't happen to them, or it's happening and they're afraid to say something because they think people may think something wrong with them. They're into something.
Yeah.
And that's true. You could get into something and could open you up. But that's never been true with me, ever. And I just tell the Lord, you know there's nothing wrong in my life. Why? So now, I would say, you're fighting, you're in spiritual warfare, and just learn to fall back on the scriptures and learn. You have power and authority. You bind them and you tell them, I have authority over you. You don't have no right. I rebuke you. Jesus gives me power over you, and you're a liar. And I command the darkness to leave and the light to come right now in the name of Christ. You do it with your mind and your spirit. And eventually, if you resist the devil, he will finally leave. Flee. Genesis chapter